Blues music is America's greatest export, and if you look at the evolution of music from the Baroque to classical to Romantic periods, there's no greater influence to popular and modern music than Robert Johnson, the pioneer of the blues. Blues music has evolved into the genres of rock and roll, gospel, jazz, pop, and soul, to name a few, and it is the foundation of constructing music in our current era. One of the best parts of the blues is how much it has changed, as well as how it has stayed the same when passed down from one blues musician to another. In this episode, we are going to explore the blues with songs from Robert Johnson, Freddie King, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and T-Bone Walker, all from different generations of the blues, because damn right I've got the blues. What do you get when you take two of your bands in different combinations and add a special guest to the mix? You get a live recorded music series that's been a dream of mine for years in the making. I've been a touring artist for over 2 decades, so whether I'm in a studio or out performing at clubs and festivals, music always is the magic that brings me home. My name is Nikhil Korula, and this is Sight and Sound.
Won't you come and play? It's a good day. Won't you come and play? 'Cause the music won't stop when your heart just wants you to play. 'Cause the music won't stop when your heart just wants you to play. I'm going down, 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 down. Yeah, I'm going down. I'm going down, 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 down. Yeah, I've got my feet in the window and my head on the ground. Hey, let me down. I'm going down, 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 down. Yeah, I'm going down, yeah. I'm going down, 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 down. Hey, yeah, I got my feet in the window and my head on the ground. Yeah. Dead-end roads are no place to go. Where's the fork in this road? Could you point me in the right direction when I just want to go where I know? Where do these broken roads go? When does the light shine on down? Where do these broken roads go? And can one of these please take me home? can I not look without regret? I shall keep on this path of unknown. Just hope I can find my way home. Where do these broken roads go? When does the light shine on down? Where do these broken roads go? And can one of these please take me home? Where do these broken roads go? When does the light shine on down? Where do these broken roads go? And can one of these please take me home? And can one of these please take me home? And can one of these please take me home? And can one of these please take me home?
Welcome to Sight and Sound, Episode 7. We're here at NRG Recording Studios in North Hollywood, a studio that has had Beyonce, John Fogerty record records here, and we have a very special guest, a bluesman indeed, all the way from Arkansas, Mr. Larry McCray. How are you, Larry?
Hey, I'm doing just fine. How you doing, brother?
It's good to see you. It's good to be playing music with you. I know you live in Michigan now, but
Yeah.
you know, it's cool that you had roots in Arkansas. I wanted to ask you, what was the first moments of Zen that made you kind of fall in love with the blues?
Well, it probably was those days, those early days being spent in Arkansas that I was so young to be exposed to that music.
Right.
And it was at a very early age, and it was a very emotional music, you know, something that a lot of people didn't really do or know how to do or understand. So there was a connection quite young for me that I knew that it was something special about it, but I just hadn't figured out what yet, but that's what got me going.
And did you kind of fall in love with Albert King first, or was it somebody before him that made you kind of point your life in the direction of making music?
My older sister was my most direct effect, you know, that, you know, mentored me and tutored me to music. So, you know, I listened to her, and whatever her choices were, you know, then that's what I learned, you know, but she's the one who exposed me to Albert Collins, B.B., you know, Freddie and all that stuff. Then a lot of other stuff like Fred McDowell and Ferry Lewis and, you know, Sunnyland Slim, you know, just all the artists that were good that weren't necessarily popular.
What's really amazing, too, is you have won the respect of some of my favorite guitarists, including Warren Haynes, Dickie Betts, who recently passed,
Right.
Joe Bonamassa, and so many others like Greg Allman and the Allman Brothers. You played and toured with them. What were some of the most amazing moments or things that you learned from some of those experiences?
Well, the most precious lesson learned was to be yourself. And I learned that from every, you know, every person that mentored me. You know, I got a chance to spend a lot of time around Albert Collins, Albert King.
It's amazing.
Luther Allison, you know, just everybody who I met, you know, when I first met them, you know, I was young and ambitious and, you know, hey, how do you succeed? Be yourself. You know, learn from every occasion, but nobody can be a better you than you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that you have to learn to trust yourself and believe in what you do. If you don't believe in what you do, you don't have no business doing it in the first place.
You know, it's amazing because you've been on tour with the Allman Revival Band. You just played the Fillmore last night. What are the things that keep you inspired as a player, a songwriter, and a musician?
The fact that I've become the age that I have now, and still have an opportunity.
Right.
You know, I'm beginning to be the senior musician in my circles. And before, I was always the punk. You know, I was always the youngest one and the gopher and go get this boy and boy, do this and that. And, you know, 35, 40 years later, you're not a boy no more, and you find yourself becoming that old man.
Right.
And that's it's not scary, but it's the hardest thing to accept when you see yourself start to diminish and your physical skills and attributes start to change. That's when you know that, you know, time is precious.
Well, but one of the coolest things that I had the experience with you, I first met you at the Wiltern when you first were touring with the Almond Revival Band, and you were so humble and so cool when we first met. And I listened to your music, and I always think that the people that have the most universe in them have this humility to them. What keeps you grounded and humble to learning music, playing with new musicians, and just staying grounded?
I get a chance to get around and see a lot of music. And when you get around and see how great that some of these people are and how abounding their talent is, you know, it lets you know that, you know, unless you're one of them people, you know, that it's somebody greater, it's a force greater than you out there. But like I said, the reflection is that nobody can be a better you than you can. So you have to learn and determine how to be effective and what is your best attribute. And these things, I think, come from trial and error and getting out there and maybe making a fool of yourself sometime in front of people and say, okay, I'm not going to do that again. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, you know, still looking for what's the best thing to hold on to the most. But you learn things what not to do, and sometimes what not to do is just as important as what to do.
I love that. What are one of the moments that you've had in your career, because you've had such a storied career playing on all these iconic venues and with all these iconic people? What was a moment for you that was a pinch me moment, maybe as a young bluesman or an older bluesman?
Well, there's been a couple. I really was a big fan of Aretha Franklin always, all my life. You know, she was just as important in the soul realm as, you know, many were in blues. And I got invited to one of her dress rehearsals once in Chicago. Wow. And so that was one of those moments, you know, to get invited to sit down at the Queen's table, you know what I'm saying? I really was fond of the time I spent with Albert King and Albert Collins, and also Gary Moore, because Gary was so hot in the 90s, you know, he was doing things with all those old blues masters, but he was the force to be reckoned with at that time.
Right.
And, you know, I got a chance to meet him and be accepted in his circle. And that, you know,
awesome.
Them kind of things like that, when you see people, when the whole arena is holding up the lighter, you know, in tribute to them people, and if they accept you, you know, that means that you in a good place, you know, especially if you're the oncoming guy, you know, trying to find your way. Them are the type of people you want to hang around with.
Well, one of the most gracious things about you is not only have you been accepted by all these blues legends, but you've also been accepting of new artists like myself and so many other new cats. And I can't tell you what that means to a younger musician and just like this new generation of artists, because you stay humble and grounded and you inspire us with what you do. I really learned so much playing with you tonight.
Well, you know, the thing that we can look at is that, okay, I feel that I'm the generation after B.B. King. I'm the second generation because
right.
Luther and Albert and them guys was the first generation after him.
Right.
Then came them. Then came my generation. My generation was myself, Michael Burks, Sherman Robertson, it's Donald Kinsey, you know, people like that, Ronnie Baker Brooks, which he's even a generation behind us. But what I'm saying, okay, I think that the second generation took the music to a higher bar. My generation come along, took it to a different place. After us come the generation of your Joe Bonamassa, your Josh Smiths, and all this thing, you know, that really kind of stepped away from the bluesy element, but gave it a octane boost.
Right.
And the fact that the technician and the work was more precise and more intense, you know, fast. Everything was fast and intense, you know, opposed to I have a 24-year-old son, and him and his boys, when they want to play something bluesy or, you know, something that has that sound, they say, hey, man, let's go play some boomer bins.
That's awesome.
About baby boomers, you know,
Right.
the style of the baby boomer, like the Claptons and all, you know, the people of my generation that come from that. Yeah, they call it, yeah, man, let's go play some boomer bins. So the thing, what I'm saying is that every so many years, the music evolves.
Right.
And it becomes more and more refined. Sometimes you find a little saturation, but the truth always find a way to come to the top. And that's what allows the genre to survive.
I got one more question. This is a guitar player question. You know that you've seen some of my favorite blues guitarists, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Albert King.
Yeah.
Whose tone were you most just struck with right when you heard
Tone?
it? Yeah.
I think it would have to be between Albert Collins and Albert King. Albert had the most unique tone, the most identifiable tone. I mean, it was no doubt right first note.
Right.
Bing! Oh, that's him. You know, and Albert King kind of had that thing too, but it wasn't. I feel that the electric masters of my generation were Albert King, B.B. King, Freddie King,
Right.
and Albert Collins. All the other electric players came after that.
Yep.
But, okay, their styles were totally different. Freddie King was the freight train.
Yep.
He was the power. He was the crush him up and ball him up and stick him in your back pocket. Albert King was blue.
Right.
His guitar wept. Literal tear.
Yeah.
You know, it sounded like it was crying, you know, when Lucy did her thing, you know. So you had a freight train. You had somebody that was bluer than blue. Albert Collins was the razor. He sliced you up.
I love that.
And B.B. King was the elegance.
Right.
The refined, he gave blues music class and, you know, distinguished it from always being a working class thing. He elevated the, you know, presence of blues music in
I
society.
met B.B. King one time at the House of Blues, and he gave me a pick, and I said, I really love blues music. And he said, you're a young bluesman, kid. And he handed me a guitar pick, and I just was like so enamored with blues music from that point on, because there's a sense of family and community in the genre of music that you don't see in a lot of genres of music, you know, especially these days. So
we just lost Carl Weathersby, too. That was a bad thing. Carl Weathersby, Lucky Peterson, Chico Banks.
Right.
You know, them are all people that I used to chum with. I mean, them guys all right out of my generation pool, you know, and to see them, Don McKenzie.
Right.
You know, Don McKenzie was the first national blues act that I got a chance to open the show for, you know, like in 1981, you know, stuff like that. And to see them people gone, and like I said, to see me standing now where they were standing for me, you know, it's a full circle thing.
Right.
And my biggest regret is that I didn't get more opportunity when I was younger and really physically fit to handle it. The road is something that, you know, everybody can't endure.
It's a beast. It's a beast.
It's a beast.
But you're still doing it. You did it on no sleep, and you came and jammed
and I'm
like crazy today.
I'm 40 years in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a long time to tote the bill.
Well, we're so thankful that you are around, that you are as vibrant as you are. You shared your just ingenious, creative musical talents with us. It was such a pleasure to play music with you. Thanks for being a guest on Sight and Sound.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We'll be back with some more performances.
see a man great and mean. She's my sweet little thing. She's my pride and joy. She's my sweet little baby. I'm a little loving boy. Where do I go from here? What can we do now? You say loneliness knows my name. How come you're gone? When will this all fade? It may take some more time to heal. 'Cause I've been down this road before. 'Cause I've been down this road before. Look how far we've come along this old road. This time I can see holes looks all around, seen what's been down this road. Reflections of our time invade my own mind. Where can all of this pain come from? Wish we could be bridge to no roads. Guess we'll just have to wait and see. I've been down this road before.
Welcome to Sight and Sound, episode 7. We have not one, but 2 guests for our episode tonight. And I wanted to bring a very special friend and bluesman from my hometown. He's a hometown hero from Arcadia, Mr. Pat O'Brien. How are you, Pat?
Good.
Good to see you. It's always a pleasure playing music with you. You know, I'm going to tell you this, and I've told you this many times before, but when I was in high school, you were a legend in my hometown. I actually first learned about you from a party that somebody videotaped you playing, and you were playing behind your head. You were doing all the Stevie Ray Vaughan things. You were doing all the bluesman things, the Lightning Hopkins things. And I just was so enamored that there was somebody in my hometown that was doing this and playing this style of music. I know you originally come from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right? And you came all the way out to California, and you've been playing this music and this style of music with so much soul. And I just wanted to ask you, what keeps you driven as a player and a musician?
Gambling debts.
That's one way to do it.
It's just, it's basically, secret of life, have fun, make money. So if you can play music and manage to squeak by with it, that's you win, kind of the deal.
You also have a prized possession of some really cool amps and guitars. Do you have like a favorite guitar or amp that you just always know is one of your prized sounds or pieces that you love to use for gigs?
Yeah. I got a 55 Tweed Tremolux.
Wow.
That's real cool. For a tweed tone.
Yeah.
And then I use a 64 Deluxe Reverb for clean.
Wow.
So
you use them together?
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's like one or the other. You get like two flavors, and then when it needs to be stupid loud, you get both.
Now, I know you and I share our passion for Stevie Ray Vaughan. He's one of our favorite guitarists and musicians. What was the first moment you ever heard an album or saw him play on a video? What was the first time you ever saw
I guess
him?
the first thing I heard was like, I remember one time I had radio was on, right? And I'm hearing, it sounds real, but it's like, I'm going, damn, that's the best live Hendrix I've ever heard. Wait a minute. That's got to be that guy from Texas I heard something about, you know what I mean? And then they're being Stevie Ray.
And
So
you told me something really cool when we had a recording session. You said one of your favorite live shows was seeing Albert Collins live. And you said you were right near him, and it was like one of the moments where you just couldn't believe.
It was actually Albert King.
Albert King. Oh, that's right. Albert King.
Yeah, it was like one of those magic nights, where it was ridiculous, And Albert says a trip, he's like Gary Moore said. You remember the time he did Albert Gary Moore? So how was it playing with Albert? He goes, very tutorial. So that guy should have been a diplomat. But no, Albert. But like Albert runs the mix. Would run the mix from the stage, right? Now he'd be like playing, trumpet, back up. Literally, and just every couple, he'd sing a couple lines, and he's directing the sound from his viewpoint, right?
Right.
And is very sparsely there. So I'm literally sitting on the stage, leaning on the monitor, just, I'm very comfortable. He's right there, right? And in my buddy, Rumi, who hit me, he said, Albert King is playing, we got to go see him. And so the two of us are there, and so Albert, and I'm going, in my mind, I'm thinking, he didn't do this all night, is he? Yeah, but it went away. It just
Wow.
It was like magic, And then to top it off, it's like real sparse. But he sees us. He said, "I got plot for you guys." It was like
Wow.
and it was like so. Then it was a deal where like band plays, he plays, band plays. He's come back for a second show, right? So we're talking to him, during the break because Rumi knew him, right? So we're shaking hands. Hand comes off to my wrist.
Really? His hands were that big?
He was a big man, Yeah.
That's probably how he got the tone.
Don't know. I mean, he was a kind of a force of nature. You know what I mean? I guess, he just...
What was the moment of Zen that made you want to become a guitar player?
That's a tough one. Probably seeing the Beatles as a little kid going, hey, I look good.
Right. And then it made you want to write songs and...
You just started doing that after a while of playing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just starts to go and happen. Or it did,
And do you have like a favorite, style of music that you love to kind of write in? I know you do some gypsy stuff, you do some blues stuff. You kind of have this well-versed style when it comes to guitar.
I guess I don't really have a favorite. There's just so many other
so
neat
much.
things, and then something will take shape and it'll lean this way.
Right.
And something else will be like, that'd be good for so-and-so. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, it's kind of all the above. It's cool.
What I love, too, is you and I are always up super late practicing, and you'll send me a YouTube video via email of some new player, and then I'm sending you one back, and it's just like, man, it's been such a pleasure to have this kind of friendship with you and just kind of like learn about all of this music and all these great players with you. Who do you think was one of your first major inspirations in the blues realm? Was it Clapton? Was it Albert King? Was it B.B. King?
Maybe BB.
Okay.
I mean, I remember having an 8-track.
Right.
Live
at the Regal, was that the record?
No, what the heck was that? I can't remember now. It wasn't Live at the Regal, though. It was something else, and it was very cool. But yeah, 8-track. Went back.
I remember seeing BB for the first time at House of Blues, and it was like one of those moments you just never forget. And every note he played was just unbelievable. And I remember hearing Live at the Regal, and it just kind of changed it changed the energy and color in the room. And you're one of those players for me, because when I was in high school and I saw you play, and I would see you play weddings and parties, I was so kind of like blown away by what you could do on the guitar that I was so kind of scared to talk to you. But as soon as I started a blues trio, I wanted to kind of meet you face to face, have a connection with you, and share in blues music. Today was such a special experience for me because not only are you from my hometown and you are a hometown legend, but we got to play music with a bluesman from Arkansas, with John Fogerty's keyboardist, with all these musicians and players that I've been playing with for years, and everybody had this common goal to just make something cool. What keeps you inspired to do that as a musician and a songwriter?
Just fun to do.
That's a good point. Does it ever get trying in the sense of finding new inspiration, or do you just feel like it's endless and you're just able to kind of channel into something to, find that groove, that infinite, place where we can, be inspired to write or play?
I don't know. That's kind of the easy part. Is all the logistics part. That's the tough part. How far is the drive? What you know what I mean? But that other part, the other part is like kind of luckily a given. That's no worries there.
Do you ever have those moments? You do something really cool that not many people I've ever seen play do. It's you kind of do a comping thing on guitar and you comp with harmonica too. How did you come up with that?
I thought it would be a real cool thing to do. Playing both.
Yeah.
And I was lucky at that time. I was about 17 or something, and I had this gig. I had this lounge gig. Right. It was 3 nights a week. And in 1 week, it would pay for my expenses for the whole month. So I was able to play like 6 to 8 hours a day. Wow. For the rest of the rest of the time. So I got to put in some time, and then then you get to mess around with doing harmonies and unison things, and then taking turns backing up the other instrument.
Right.
So it was basically having a lot of time.
One of the coolest things that I was able to experience with you was when I released my first record as a blues trio artist. I had you play on Crossroads, and I had you come to the studio, and we were just sharing in the love of music. And then when the Crossroads tour came, we saw so many legends. We saw Eric Clapton with Stevie Wonder, Santana, Eric Gales, Kingfish, Gary Clark Jr. It was such an incredible experience to share that with you. But are there any new players like that just kind of blow your mind when you hear them?
A couple of the ultra flashy younger players that not that I live there, but it's just an astonishing achievement,
Right.
The Mateo, I forgot his last name.
Mancuso, yep.
Oh,
he's a beast. He's a beast.
What's up with that?
Yeah.
And then with the Henson.
Yep.
With
the tattoos?
Yeah. That's not where I live, but it's just the accomplishment. It's just amazing,
Well, you've really found a sound with what you play and how you play. What drives you to kind of still dig for that sound now?
I probably just that it's you try different stuff along the way, and then you kind of lean into so that you end up with I use this most of the time, with these 2 amps and these 3 guitars, I can say most of what I need to say, and so that's fun, and then you get to, if you have a bad guitar, Jones, you get to check out different ones. You know what I mean?
Right.
See what this will do that, and this, and then you just have too many guitars. But that's what you're supposed to do, isn't it?
Well, let's hope, because I always have my eyes on new guitars, and I want it to stop. But you're one of the inspirations. As soon as I talk to you about how many guitars and amps you've got, I'm like, oh, I'm okay.
There's my justification, honey. Look, he's got 40.
Yes.
No, I'm nowhere. I'm nowhere even close. No, we're okay.
Are you looking at any new guitars or amps currently?
No. Not really. I mean, it kind of got more than me.
Right.
You could, okay, how much for that 52, Telly?
Right.
Yeah, you could always go crazy. But no, I'm kind of okay,
Well, I want to personally thank you for inspiring me for 30 years, and you've inspired so many people to become musicians in my hometown, and you are a staple of my hometown. And I just want to say it's been so great to be such good friends with you now and to play music with you, and I look forward to many more opportunities. Thank you for being a guest on Sight and Sound.
All right, and I got that 20 I owe you too.
We'll be back with more performances with Pat O'Brien, Larry McCray, and the rest of the crew, so stay tuned.
crossroads, fell down on my knees. Ask the Lord above for mercy, save me if you please. Standing at the crossroads, trying to flag a ride. Standing at the crossroads, trying to flag a ride. Yeah. Nobody seems to know me. Everybody passing by.
I'm standing at the crossroads, believe I'm sinking down.
This here don't mean no world. Try to live it by yourself. This here don't mean no world. Try to live it by yourself. Can't get the one you love. Have to use somebody else. I've got the blues, gonna pack my things and go. I've got the blues, gonna pack my things and go. Guess you don't love me no more, loving me's just so and so.
love be so cold? Sometimes I wonder why can your love be so cold? I guess you don't love me. I'm gonna pack my things and go.
Won't you come out and play? Won't you come out and play? You've been so good today. Won't you come out and play? 'Cause the music won't stop when your heart just wants you to play. Can you take all the pain while you make it rain? Do you know what to do when there's so much to lose? Could you figure for free for the price of the few? Won't you come out and play? Won't you come out and play? You've been so good today. Won't you come out and play? 'Cause the music won't stop and your heart just wants you to play.
Subscribe right here on this button below. Let's keep this train rolling.